So in this video I'm gonna show you how to install the Anytime backup camera. The front grill has been successfully removed. You can watch my other video on how to remove the front grill. So basically this is the 1794 edition. The grill that comes is the chrome grill. There is not enough space to install this camera that I have here. So initially I wanted to install below the logo, but there is no space available. There is very tight. Maybe there is an option, but I will have to do a lot of modification, cut a lot of stuff there, and I don't want to do that. So basically what I'm gonna do is to install this camera in the right side of the logo, probably here. This is probably how it's gonna look at the end. So what I'm gonna do is to basically right here I'm gonna drill a hole there. I'm gonna remove this bolt and I'm gonna cut this part of the plastic so I can adjust the camera there. So okay, now I have a lot of space there. So what I'm gonna do now is to drill a hole. Okay, this is how it looks. Okay, so basically I got it. Now just to pull the cable. So also I had to cut this thing a little bit, about 1/4 of the inch, just to avoid problems with the upside of the grill. Alright, all set. This is how it looks from the back side of the grill. It looks nice. I put the cable together with the sensor cable here, all the way to the top of the grill. So now I will have this connection here. So if in the future if I have to remove the grill, I just unplug the camera here and I will be able to remove the grill without any issues. Alright, and this is how it looks from the front side. Okay, this is how I plan to wire everything, and this is the camera connector, so that I'm gonna keep all connections in this place. Alright, this is how it looks, and this is the plug that's gonna be used to connect the camera. And I plan to have this here, and this is the RCA cable, and this is the joint to the 12 volts to the power cable. So what I did, I separated the ground from the power cable, and it crossed through that hole, and then in this side I tied to the main cable, and in this corner and finally into the battery. And the video cable is under this part all the way to this, and here I plan to put it behind this panel, maybe, or just tie to this. I'm gonna tie this cable all the way to there and then cross the firewall. Okay, I decided to cut here, and you will need something hard but flexible to pull the cable. This is what I'm gonna do to pull the cable. Then when I have this part of the cable in the other side, I will pull the rest. So as you can see here, make sure this part don't get stuck in the rubber, so you can just push it just to make sure when you pull from the other side it don't get stuck in that way. Okay, right, here we are. Let's pull it a little bit harder. Okay, I got it. Here is the cable. Nice and easy. Alright. So now that I just pull these two cables together until I get the end cable in this side. Alright, this is how it looks now. So I plan to add probably some silicone here to seal the hole, because the hole is bigger than the cable, but I'm not gonna do now because I plan to add another accessory cable, so that I'll do later. So what I'm gonna do now is to run the cable up and this way up to the radio. So the first thing is to remove this cover. The clips are in place. So here I have more visibility to run the wire to the radio. Okay, so what we have to do now is to remove this part, just to have access to the boards behind the radio. So the first thing is gonna be this. So now let's remove this thing from this side first. Okay, this one piece. So now to remove the bottom section of the panel, you have to some kind of hook to pull from the downside of this panel. So I'm gonna use the same thing that I used to pull the cable. So let me try it on one side first. Okay, and then on the other side. Alright, there you go. So, okay. Alright, let me just disconnect. Only one cable to disconnect, as you can see here. And now we have enough space to remove the bolts from the radio. So now the bottom section is out, the AC unit is out, and here you can see the bolts, and there are two bolts there, and also there is another one back there. Total of 4 bolts, as you can see there. There is another one, and here are the other two. So I don't know if you can see it, but there is the other. So I removed the 4 10mm bolts. You will need an extension like this one. It has around 6 inches. Now let's remove the radio. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna use this to pull the RCA cable from the right side to the center. So I'm gonna introduce this on this side. So now the video cable is tied to the hook there, and that's going to be come up to here and go all the way to the radio. That's to this. I already installed the two harness that came with the kit. This is the one of them is installed right here. So the only thing you have to do is to disconnect the factory connector from the radio and add the harness that came with the kit here. And the same with this one. Here is where you have to connect the second harness. The same thing, just on disconnect the factory connector from the radio and add the harness that came with the kit. The female connector here and the male connector in the radio. So here is the relay. It has the 3 video cables here, and so there is one of them that has a black mark there, and this is the one that will be connected to the rear camera. So the rear camera signal is right here, so that means that this RCA cable should be connected to this one, which is from the harness, and the other one, that is the other one that remaining that can be connected to the radio, is the video input. So basically this is the one that's gonna be connected here, and the other one that hasn't the black mark should be used to connect the front camera video cable. So this is where it should be connected. Alright, so I have my relay connected. The main power came from one of the harness. So here is where I added the fuse box here, just to protect the radio if something happened after this. The red cable from the harness is connected to the switch, to the red cable, and the orange cable from the harness will be connected to the orange cable to the switch. So basically it's just to match the colors. In this case, this is my ground cable. I didn't have a black wire, so I used a red one and added some black marks to remember that that's the ground cable. So there are 2 connections for the ground. One is for the relay to the black cable from the relay here, and the other one is for the switch to the black cable here. So this is the ground cable and this is the black cable from the switch. So that's basically how it should be connected. And my gray and blue cables, my harness didn't came with these connections, so I decided to keep disconnected. This is for the backlight of the switch. I plan later to find a place where I can connect this. The green cable is the only cable remaining here. It is connected to the green cable from the switch, and also the red cable that comes with from the front camera cable also should be connected to this connection here, because the reason is that you want to power up the camera only when you need it. So basically when you switch to the front camera position, this wire is gonna have power from there. So that's basically the reason. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna insert the switch connector to the right side, and then I'm gonna pull below here in order to connect to the switch that is already in place. So also I'm gonna this relay I'm gonna insert to the right side here, because in the future if I have to replace this relay, for me it's gonna be easier to remove this cover instead of remove everything here. Well, it's time to see if it works. The first thing, I'm gonna turn the rear camera on. So that's the rear camera, and I'm gonna turn the front camera on, and that's the front camera. That's the picture that I wanted. I can see there the front of my vehicle, so I can see how far or close I am against the front object. So that's exactly what I wanted. So now I'm gonna change truck and putting drive. I still see the camera, that's good. I'm gonna change to reverse. I still see the front camera. Okay, so let me turn rear camera. It's now on, so I am in reverse. I can see the rear camera. I'm gonna change to drive. Still see the camera with no issues. I'm gonna set into the middle position, so none of the camera are on right now. So I'm gonna change to the reverse, and it changes automatically to be the reverse camera. So it's working awesome. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any question or comments, please feel free to add below your comments or questions. Stay tuned. I planning to add a lot of modification to this truck. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add the hood scoop, because this is the 1794 edition and this one didn't came with a hood scoop. I think that it looks great. It's not functional, but looks great. So that's the reason I wanna install it. I already have it here. Let me show you. So it's painted, already painted. So what I'm gonna do is gonna add it to my 1794 edition Toyota Tundra.